I want to find out from you. Nigeria is bidding to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games, and how do you intend to sell this to the average Nigerian when you look at our present challenges? Reports everywhere about insecurity, the economy, people are struggling, and all of it. So, how do you want to sell to Nigeria that it's good to think about hosting the 2030 Commonwealth Games?
First of all, we must agree that we live in a very beautiful country, very secured, contrary to what people tend to talk about. Nigeria is a very secured country. Are you telling me that you do not know that a city like Abuja and Lagos that may likely qualify to host the Commonwealth Games is not secured enough for the game? Every year, the Lagos Marathon brings thousands of people from abroad. Every year they go, they come. Every year, 30 December brings in over 1 million visitors. Every year. And people come and go back peacefully. Those are the decimals, those are the indicators that we must look at in talking about security. Abuja is one of the most beautiful, most planned cities in the world. And every day, flights coming from all over the world into Abuja. People do business in Abuja successfully and they go. So for me, we should not even be addressing issues of insecurity. Nigeria is not is a country that is not secured, a very secure state. Let's put that country. Let's put that aside. I'm going to be very brief with my discussion on the Commonwealth bid because we're under strict advice not to go into details.
Non-disclosure.
Right. Suffice to say, we want the country to know that we had a pre-bid meeting, obviously for us to now get the final full approval from Mr. President, then we'll go for the full bid before the 30th of August. Having said that, your question is why?
How do you sell it?
Selling it for me is very simple. Nigeria craves right now things that would bring multiple business opportunities, multiple streams of revenue, multiple opportunities to be created for capacity building. And if there's one thing that adds all of those three elements, is hosting a multinational sporting event like the Commonwealth Games. And it's not only Nigeria, it is Africa. Earlier on, I gave you data based on research that shows where Africa will be in terms of employability and employment between 2035 and 2050. Why can't a game like the Commonwealth Games, the first ever in Africa, in Nigeria, in Abuja, be the springboard to 2050? If you are being futuristic in your thought process. So beyond what people may be thinking of right now, the games are not coming up until 2030. What the Commonwealth Federation have also done, that I'm not going to go into, is to simplify hosting and to make it affordable for countries rather than what it used to be.
Because they've also been having challenges with so many countries hosting.
There you go. But it is essential. It is important. Before the late Nelson Mandela, our father of the continent, before he went to join our ancestors, he endorsed a host bid for Nigeria in 2014. You remember that? He endorsed it. So many other African presidents endorsed it because there was a desire, there was a thirst, a request for us not just to be playing the politics of the Commonwealth Games, but for our children also to be part and parcel of the Commonwealth Games, which has become so popular, especially in Nigeria, since Brisbane '82. And so Nigerians would eventually appreciate the fact that we are not just bidding for the Commonwealth Games, we're also bidding for the 2031 All-African Games. Again, we need to use sports as a production element rather than a consumption element. And to do that, you need to be hosting major multinational events so that you create wealth for thousands of people, create empowerment, create employment, and beyond all, create a feel good factor for millions of Africans because it will be a feel good factor that starts from the day the hosting right is announced all through to the execution of the hosting and even after. You cannot quantify those things in our Kobotoyi. Never.
All right, let me take you to sportsmen and women welfare plans, defection.
Wait, take me into that. Wait, take me into that. Infrastructural development in sports is at a deficit in Nigeria, as you and I know. And one of the aggressive things we've done with our budget, as we continue with the procurement system, and we are soon going to start giving out contracts. Hopefully by next month, work will start at various centers across the country for different sports. We are even building facilities on university campuses. We are supporting our institutions to have world-class
sports facilities,
mini sports stadiums.
Like we've seen around the world.
Yes.
Even during international competition.
We are also even building 3 to 4 world-class swimming pool with a prototype to show that this was done by the federal government. And we've spoken about how it has to go to the states, the next 3 states that will be hosting the next 3 festivals, so that that burden is not put on them. So Enugu, maybe we have more than 5 states that have bidded now. By the way, we are starting inspection tomorrow. I'm leading the team to Bayelsa. For the 2028 and 2030, we're starting, bid has closed, and we've started inspection. While a team is coming to Lagos to inspect their facilities for the youth games for next year. So infrastructure development is extremely important to what we are doing. And I know before the end of the interview you would have asked. So let me just preempt you, because I know you've written and I've read on Forbes. You even challenged Shewtiko and I by saying that no matter the legacies we create, if our infrastructures are not at top notch, that would have failed. Those were some of the things you wrote on Forbes. And so for you to know that I'm conscious of the challenges that you've thrown at us. So we are looking at a situation where beyond Uyo, in the next 1 year, we'll be able to boast of at least 4 to 5 approved world-class facilities, not just for football, for different sports across board. And look at what Ogun State has done. And it's created invitation of all sorts and people gravitating towards Ogun State to do all sorts of sports. So that is another aspect where we intend to create legacies.
What about schools? Primary, secondary, tertiary?
We also have a strategy to create unity schools. We are looking at the system. We don't know how that will work yet, but we are discussing, people are strategizing, but we also intend to support those schools. That is why you see that there's so much financial support and technical support from the commission to school sports. The event in Anaba, in Nigeria, was a school sports event that was curated and supported and funded by the commission. The one that has been given to us now to host, ordinarily is a school sport, must be a collaboration between school sports and the commission for us to be able to host a world-class event in 2027. Again, going into the fabric and the element of what I explained, that hosting major world-class events, multiple sports, multiple nation events, is good for the economy, is good for the trickle-down effect of the economy, is good for empowerment and putting money in the pockets of small businesses, so that small businesses too can continue to grow using sport as a space and a platform for that. So I believe strongly that the country will stand behind us and support the Commonwealth Games.
I was going to ask about welfare. We've seen some of our top talents defecting to other nations, defecting to richer nations. Is the
I don't know if
commission
they are richer nations, but
Qatar,
I
Turkey?
don't know.
Probably we can say maybe their economies are
Nigeria is a beautiful, rich
yeah, yeah.
country
But
with a lot of empowerment strategies.
yes, but I
And
was
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the father of the nation,
is doing so
is
much.
doing a lot
Absolutely, we appreciate Mr.
through the
President.
TEF fund, NEF fund.
Mm.
And today, students are getting alerts on their phone.
We even
And
appreciate Mr. President
thank you.
for the cash rewards, particularly. I wish I was a falcon or a day tigress,
Or a media officer today.
a media officer to do any of these things. But I also enjoyed some good measure of all of these things when I was media officer of the Super
Correct.
Eagles. But what are we going to put in place to ensure that our athletes also get good welfare packages that can dissuade them from being lured by some of these other nations to change nationality?
I believe the start must be the athlete grant that we introduced. S.A. Bruman called me a few days ago. I won't go into what she asked for, but it goes to the discussion that we're having, and I think that's a start. Allowing our athletes know that we care,
Mm.
letting them know that we want to take care of them, no matter how small we start. We want to progressively look after them because, in truth, it is when you look after your athletes that they look after the nation.
Mm.
It is when you look after them that they bring the feel good factor that creates adrenaline. Adrenalines have become positive attributes, even contribution to our economy. Because when people go back to work after a very successful event by Nigerian sports team, you see it, you feel it in the economy, you feel it in the psyche of the people.
Even in the nation,
You
everybody
feel it
is
around the
happy,
nation.
everybody is celebrating.
And we believe
Absolutely.
for us to achieve all of that, we need to look after her. The one gold medal at the Olympics is enough to shake a country, as we've seen many places. One gold medal, and the entire country start buzzing, and people start talking about the country, and people want to look at the country and see how they can come there and do business. And so, you cannot separate sports from serious economic consideration as a country. So we want to look after them. That's why we started the grant. Like I said earlier, we're still talking to a few other captains of industries who have agreed that they'll put money into that grant. Once we get that done, that is stage one. Stage two is grassroots development. Letting the young boy or the young girl know from age 14, 15 that we're going to look after them, that we're going to take care of them, we're going to educate them, we're going to show them how to move forward from where they are. We've started that also. AFN came up with a proposal, boot camp. Every 2 months, they want to have a boot camp just for the under 13s and under 20s. Just for them. A boot camp that brings them together in camaraderie, in unison, and in love. And they'll be trained for 2, 3 days. They'll be not just trained on the track, trained on intellectual things. They'll get people to come talk to them, build their capacity, build their psyche, build their confidence, and then go home. And in another 2 months, bring them with a different program. AFN has submitted a proposal. I have approved it because that is the way to go.
Mm.
And I believe when we start doing that, we'll create a better system that will keep our athletes happy and keep them home. Now, the elite athlete and podium board under the leadership of Yusuf Ali, I started working on something. Huge debate. Tony, by the time we announce what they are working on, it will blow the mind of everybody away. It will challenge our athletes to get ready to do well at the Islamic Games in November, at the Commonwealth Games next year, and the ultimate one in 2028 at the Olympics. That is the pipeline we're about to announce. It is going to be mind blowing if eventually, from the numbers and figures and strategy I'm hearing, it's going to be mind blowing. Again, I endorse that. I agree with that. I believe, and Malan Diko has endorsed it, has agreed with it. It's just for the modalities to be brought to us by the podium board. I will talk to the presidents of federations, and we all agree as a community and as a team that that is the way to go. I mean, for example, Tony, let me just ask you without telling you precisely what they are doing. Imagine we announce that one gold medal would bring XYZ millions of naira for the Olympics 3 years before the Olympics. Imagine we've already started giving them money to train towards winning that XYZ, which is different from what Mr. President will give.
And I can imagine,
Just
based on what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, what Mr. President can do when you do the nation proud. I'm particularly intrigued and touched by a statement he made when he says, when you do the nation proud, a grateful nation
will be waiting for you.
Will be waiting for you to show you how grateful they are. That's very, 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 very instructive.
Absolutely. And I was talking to the AFN people a few weeks ago on the day of their trials in Yabatek, and I asked them to put Toby on the phone, being their captain and the leader there. And I said to Toby, I said, listen, Toby, a gold medal at the World Championship in Tokyo is bigger than a gold medal in WAFCON, an individual gold medal.
Absolutely. That's the World Championship.
It's like you winning the World Cup. I said, go and tell those who have qualified, because again, I like what the AFN is doing. They've changed their system completely. We must commend Tony Okowa for announcing that if you have not qualified automatically, you are not going to the World Championship. It's a departure from the Jamboree. So look how many of our athletes have run to Ghana now on their own.
Because they want to qualify.
Because they want to qualify. It brings seriousness. It brings a very coordinated system on how elite sports must be organized, on how high performance must be added to what we are doing. I'm talking about high performance. It still goes towards looking after our athletes. What are the things we've introduced? We've introduced a system that there must be a psychology or two on every team, one or two protocol officers, chiropractors, people who will look after medically. I mean, the youth game, the secondary school game, we send more than 5 medical personnel. It's never happened in sports. At the elite level, we'll be sending close to 10 to 15. We want a system where we'll have our own ambulances in the country where they are hosting, where we have our own blood bank in the country where they are hosting, where we have our own water suppliers, where we have everybody that will look after our athletes, apart from what the organizers are putting together. And those are the kind of things we've introduced that you start seeing in our work in order to look after the welfare of our athletes. Because the truth is, when you look after them, they look after the nation.
Finally, I mean, let me talk about the Super Eagles now. You seem to be so optimistic that the Super Eagles will make it to the World Cup. Why are you this optimistic? How will it happen? You said it will happen. How will it happen? And what will happen if it doesn't happen?
We will qualify for the World Cup.
Why are you so confident? And what happens if we do not?
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is a purposeful, intentional leader, the father of the nation, who also understands. Once or twice when we sit down with him, he does the analysis. He understands the board. He also knows what we need to do to win in terms of where we are on the board. When you have that sort of backing from the leadership, from the president, from the father of the country, you as administrators would go further.
Break your neck, break your leg, break your hand to ensure things make it happen.
We know this World Cup qualification means a lot to a lot of people. You, Tony, for example, you are a media entrepreneur. The World Cup means a lot to you. And alongside so many of your colleagues. It means a lot to Nilayo Sports Management, Brussels, Pabmozi, Osmi, and all of the other sports management businesses out there. It means a lot to Brilla FM. It means a lot to Channels TV. It means a lot to
Nigeria, the whole of Nigeria.
And so, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is God's son, and Shehu Diko is God's son, Bukola Bade is God's son, Guzo is God's son, and all our players are God's children. Eric Chell is God's son. I believe strongly that the behind the scene work going on right now and the quality of players we have and the quality of coaching they're going to get from Eric will take us to the World Cup. We will qualify for the World Cup. A God's child is speaking, and we will qualify for
So
the
you
World
don't
Cup.
want to think about the possibilities of not qualifying.
I'm a pathological optimist. We will qualify for the World Cup.
DG, National Sports
South
Commission.
Africa will lose the 3 points. FIFA knows they have to deduct those 3 points. And we will qualify for the World Cup.
And we'll beat them in
we are winning all our 4 matches.
Well, thank you so much for your optimism.
We will win all our 4 matches. And we'll be at the World Cup. We'll be at the Islamic Games. We'll be at the Commonwealth Games. We'll be at the Olympics. And we will excel in all of that. Beyond it all, we will, by the special grace of God, continue to empower young men and women. Not only those who are skilled and who participate in sports, but we want to see more Michael Obasi, more media friends who have spent a lifetime like you promoting sports. We want to see a system where in the next 2 to 3 years, we all can congratulate one another to say, you know what, we're getting it right in our country. Nigeria is a great country. I love this country. I know you do. It is the only country we have, and we must work very hard to ensure that things are done properly.
DG, National Sports Commission, Honorable Bukola Olopade, thank you so much for your time. And we appreciate the time and the interviews and the insights you've given us. This is our prayer that you will excel on this job.
Amen.
And that you benefit of hindsight. When we look back so many years after now, be proud that you were DG and that you lead legacies that have impacted positively on Nigerian sports.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my in-law. For those who don't know.